Welcome. To get into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, you can step it back and instead of walking your down dog out, get into the posture and become still. So almost like the seated position you were in, you're just putting your body in a different shape, but the breathing pattern stays the same. The stillness in the body stays the same. Feel as you breathe, the abdomen having a sense of activation. You might be feeling movement in the abdomen as you breathe, but most definitely a bit of movement in the chest. You fill up the lungs nicely. Scan the rest of your body, all the way up to your shoulders, not creating tension in the shoulders, but rather just having sufficient activation to stay in the shape. Awareness to your neck, making sure that you don't hold any tension in the neck area. You can tuck your chin closer to your chest, and then perhaps lift your head slightly, and then just take it back into a position that feels completely relaxed, where you hold no tension. Just know that you can modify any posture or sequence. You move and work with your body. It's your yoga practice. Bend into your knees, look up. In breath, position feet in between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, take arms to ceiling. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, fill up lungs, take arms to ceiling. Exhale, forward bend, head to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Maintaining that stillness throughout your entire practice, really. Truly view your practice as meditation in motion. So it's all about the breath. You do the movements and the transitions as well as you can, but it's a breathing practice. Bending into knees, look up. In breath, feet between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, bend knees, taking arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. Now inhale, bend knees, bring the arms out in front, palms to touch. You will keep the left foot on the floor, float the right foot off the mat. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, keep both legs bent, swing the right leg back. Now the fingers are pointing down to the floor. The grounding leg is bent, the back leg is bent. If you had to pull your chest back up, you would simply get into that same chair shape. Inhale, bring your chest up, arms move forward, right foot comes back down. Lifting your left foot off the mat. Exhale, start to swing the left leg back, hands pointing down to the floor, arms hanging down, and both legs bent. Inhale, bringing your arms out in front, chest up, left foot next to the right. Exhale, forward bend, head to shins. In breath, bend into knees. Take your arms up. Exhale, hands once again in line with your shoulders. This time round, lift the right foot off the mat. Pull your right knee close to your chest. Keep the left leg bent. Exhale, slowly bring the right foot down onto the mat. Inhale, raise your left knee. Pull it up and into your chest. Exhale, bring the left foot down. Take an in-breath in this position. Exhale, forward bend, head to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. And get onto the balls of the feet. Push your heels as far away from the mat as you can. Next in-breath, bend into your knees. Take your arms up into a modified chair position. Keep your heels away from the mat. Exhale, heels to the floor, forward bend, head to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Get length in your spine. Hold this position. Bend into your knees if you have to, but you want to keep a flat back. Bring your arms alongside the body. Keep arching in your back. Use an inhale to bend into your knees. Take your arms up with the back being arched. Exhale, forward bend, head to shins. In breath, halfway lift. Planting your hands on exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga. In breath, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend into knees, look up. In breath, feet between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, bend your knees. Take arms up into a chair pose. Exhale, bring the hands in line with the shoulders. Float your right foot off the mat. Straighten your right leg. Keep your heel off the floor. Next inhale, take your foot up, close to your hands. Slowly bring the right leg down, foot onto the mat. Keep bending into the right leg as you straighten the left leg. First holding there, and pull the leg up. Exhale, lower the left leg, foot down, forward bend, head to shins. In breath, halfway lift. Planting your hands on exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. In breath, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your feet to the corners of the mat, so right to the edges of the mat. Inhale, start to lower your hips. Place your palms the front corners of the mat. Getting into this modified plank stance. Start to bend into your knees. Tilt your pelvis slightly. Take a full in-breath. Exhale with an open mouth. Now, maintain that contraction. Keep breathing through your nose. Straighten your legs. Look to the back of the mat. Position your feet hip distance apart. Walk your hands back into a normal plank shape. And as you do so, reach with the left hand for the right wrist. Slowly bend the arm. Place your left forearm down. Angle your feet. Now take your right arm up. Pushing out of your left shoulder. Raising your hips. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Angle your feet, push back up. Bring the left hand down. Now take the right hand, grip hold of the left wrist. Slowly bring the right forearm down. Angle feet, raise your left arm. Exhale, bring your left hand down, shift weight into the left hand, push back up. Both hands firmly on the mat. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bending into the knees, look up. And want to step or jump your feet to the outsides of the hands. As you do so, tuck your elbows. Start to sink down with the hips. If this is your limit and you feel as though your wrists won't be able to hold your balance or your weight, then stay in this position. If not, walk your feet out in front. Cross the right ankle over the left and stay in this hovering position. Squeezing with the legs into the arms. You can look up and hold this position. A relatively easy way, I suppose, to get out of this one would be to undo the feet, to take one leg back, and then the opposite leg back. Option of simply shifting a bit of weight onto the hands and sort of adjusting the knees out to the sides into a little bit of hip opener, or lift onto your toes, get the feet closer together, and lift up into a bit of a a crow pose, by lifting your feet and looking up. Option of stepping feet onto the mat, or you can jump it back to chaturanga. In breath, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And before we take a child's pose, lower your hips into plank, grip the mat, and hold your plank shape. Stay in your body, get out of your head. Exhale, bring your knees down. Make your way back up onto all fours. Down dog, hands on the mat. Tuck your toes. Straighten your legs into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, raise your right leg. Using the exhale to step foot between hands. Now find your balance. And as you balance on the right foot coming up, let the arms hang down. The idea is going to be to build on the upper leg strength. So you squat down, get the fingers close to the mat or possibly to touch, and then inhale, straighten the grounding leg. So exhale to come down. Inhale up. Exhale down, keep engagement in the core. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. One more. Exhale down. And inhale up. Bend into the grounding leg. Step your foot back. Bring your hands down. Stepping back into plank. Lower down chaturanga. In breath, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, position left foot between hands. Find your balance. Coming up. Exhale to bend into the grounding leg. Fingers close to floor or to touch. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. In breath up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Two more. Exhale down. In breath up. Last one. Exhale down. Inhale up. And bend into the grounding leg. Step your foot back. Bring hands down. Back to plank. Lower down chaturanga. Inhale up dog. Exhale to your downward facing dog pose. Bending into your knees, look up. You'll hop the feet sort of behind the hands and squat down. We'll take knees over to the right. And even if you struggle to lift, you don't have to take it all the way up. Get the right tricep into the left leg. Get onto the toes. See if you can shift weight onto your hands looking up. If not, keep your feet on the floor. You can step the feet down or take it to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll be doing the opposite side. So bending into your knees. Step or hop your feet behind hands, knees out to the sides. Left tricep into the right leg. Down dog, hands on the mat. Up onto tiptoes and take it up. Strong breathing. You step it back or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, take your hips into plank. Shift weight onto left hand. Take your right arm up and then over to the front wall. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, right hand down. Shifting weight onto right hand. Left arm goes up, and then overhead. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, down. Lower down to chaturanga. Hold if you can. Bit of upper body work. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Slowly bend into your knees. Place knees onto the mat. As you sit back to child's pose, take your arms to the back of the mat, relaxing down. Keep in mind it's a breathing practice, so the idea is to keep the breath consistent. So really focus on equalizing the breath in your child's pose. And slowly making your way back up. This time around, you can come all the way down onto the floor. As you do so, get your knees together, tuck your feet or tuck your toes, and then lift your feet off the mat. Push your knees into the mat, push your pelvis into the mat, and raise your chest. Don't use your arm strength all too much. Just lift so that you feel the back muscles working. Maintain the shape. Take your arms to the back wall. Don't lift your legs too high. Get them at about 45 degrees. Get the shoulder blades a bit closer together at the back. And simply maintain the shape. Exhale, bring your hands down below the shoulders, tuck your toes, and push back up onto all fours. In the all fours position, something more relaxing. Tuck your chin around your spine on the exhalation, cat stretch. And I'll do the opposite. Arch in the back, look up. Exhale to cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Now exhale back into a neutral spine. Let's make our way into a seated position in order to tap into the core a little bit. So, the idea is going to be to relax back, and you'll have two options. Option one is to simply be in a very low stretch pose. Option two, you'll have the option to place hands below the body. If you do so, hands onto fists will help to keep the legs up. So, whichever option you go with, you want to lift chest and you want to lift legs. If it's too much, bring your legs down and simply lift in the chest. Getting into the position, breathe and hold. It's almost as if you're reaching with your fingertips towards your feet, aiming to get as close to your feet as possible. Keep your breath strong, consistent. One more deep inhale. Exhale. Bring it down. Just go soft, relax. Now, for a similar exercise, but getting into the hamstrings at the same time, we'll take the same shape. This time around, you will be taking your hands away from or underneath the body. Right leg will go up. You've got the option of keeping left heel on the floor, or simply get it to float. Point with the toes, crunch up and hold. Switch your legs and hold. Exhale. Bring your legs down. Once again, go soft. One more core static hold. You can bring your knees into your chest. Tuck your knees past 90. Keep your feet and knees together. Pull knees towards your head, head towards your knees, reaching forwards with your arms. And hold. We're getting there, keep breathing. And then slowly bring your feet down. You can simply relax, and as you step feet onto the mat, just move your knees from side to side. Windshield wipers. Making your way back up to center. Grab hold behind the backs of the knees and rocking up into a seated position. Now for more of a calming stretch, you'll keep the left leg straight. Bring your right foot into your inner thigh. Always mention that if there's tenderness or pain in the knee joint, you can always slide your foot forwards to not have this extreme flexed position in the knee joint. So just keep that in mind for if you ever experience a bit of discomfort. The idea is still to open in the hip, that external rotation, working the knee down. Flex your front foot, and I'll take arms up. Exhale, reaching. Find your foot or your ankle or your right wrist. Turning it into a Janu Sirsasana A. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. You can straighten the right leg, bend the left. You're simply doing the opposite side. Same thing to protect the knee if you want. Inhale, taking arms up. Exhale, reaching, finding your wrist or your foot or your ankle for that matter. And breathe. And sort of gaze up towards the toes. We are working chest and chin towards the front foot. But if you want to neutralize in the neck, you're more than welcome to do so. Forward bends are considered to be calming poses. So it's nice to just sort of get the heart rate to slow down before we do our corpse pose by doing a stretch or 5 in this forward bending direction. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, release. As you come up, you can take your legs wide. If you're able to hold onto the outsides of your feet, then grip hold, flex in the feet. Take a nice deep in-breath on exhale. Turn it into a forward bend. If you struggle to get into this type of forward bending shape, you can get your hands onto your shins and stay in a more upright position, but still thinking of getting chest and chin forwards. So it all depends on the flexibility that you have with the legs being wide, bit of flexibility in the groin, the adductor muscles or the inner thigh muscles, and breathe. Legs very active, heels pushing into the floor, toes pointing up to ceiling. Inhale, lifting in the chest, exhale to release. And then as you relax back, you can bend your right knee, taking the right knee over to the left for a spinal twist. We will only snap into our natural breath once we get to corpse pose. Inhale. Bring your leg back to center, straighten the right leg, bend the left, taking left leg over to the right. And then slowly bring your leg back to center. And now straighten both legs. It is time for Savasana, corpse pose. So relaxing on your back, allow the breath to be natural. Close your eyes and stay in this posture for as long as you like. I would recommend that you at least stay here for 5 minutes. Otherwise, 10 minutes would be quite good. Just take a moment, allow the body to cool down to its natural state. Just enjoy this peaceful state that you're in after your yoga practice.